Hello, everyone, and welcome to Odd Burger's live corporate webinar. This is David Vidala from RBMG. Odd Burger is listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol ODD and on the OTCQB under the symbol ODDAF. Joining us today is the company's co-founder and CEO, James McInnes, who will be going through Odd Burger's January investor presentation. This will include an overview of current operations, recent achievements, and upcoming milestones. At the end of the presentation, we will open it up for questions for management to address. If you are interested in asking a question and are logged onto the Zoom platform or the Zoom app or web platform, you can submit your questions to us directly in the chat module. Please note, this presentation is being recorded today, January 25th, 2022, and will soon be made available on the company's website at oddburger.com. Today's call may contain forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results, performance, or developments to differ materially from those contained in the statements and are not guarantees of future performance of the company. No assurance can be given that any of the events anticipated by the forward-looking statements will occur, or if they do occur, what benefits the company will obtain from them. Also, some risks and uncertainties may be out of the control of the company. Odd Burger has a full disclaimer on page 3 and page 4 of their investor presentation, as well as on their website. Lastly, RBMG is not a registered investment advisor or broker-dealer. For more information, please visit rbmilestone.com. And now I hand it off to James. James, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, David, and welcome everyone to our company and to our webinar today. So Odd Burger, what is Odd Burger? Well, we are a plant-based food technology company disrupting the fast food industry. Now, did you know that you can create a better world by eating fast food? Doesn't that seem odd? And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about today, is that how our approach to disrupting fast food is odd, is different, and this is exactly what the world needs to institute change. This is Chickpea. Chickpea is our mascot, and Chickpea believes that we can make change together. And by creating change, we can save the planet, help our communities, celebrate our differences, and of course, have some fun while doing it. We agree with Chickpea, so we're on a mission to help them out. At Odd Burger, we create delicious plant-based fast food using simple and sustainable ingredients that are better for people and the planet. But we're not just creating any old fast food. We are creating iconic fast food. And of course, it's a bit odd. Now, what makes it so odd? Well, we are a 100% vegan fast food chain. We are Canada's first vegan fast food chain, and in fact, one of the only in the world. So the types of food that we make are plays on things that you are familiar with. So for example, our famous burger, you can see on the top left corner there. And we have other delicious menu items, for example, breakfast sandwiches, shakes, sundaes, ice cream, mac and cheese, all the things that you're going to find at a traditional fast food restaurant, you're going to find at Odd Burger, except it's going to be made 100% plant-based and made sustainably. And the key here is that we remove the guilt of eating fast food, because as everyone knows, when we visit our say traditional animal-based fast food chain, there's a certain guilt associated with that. Guilt that you let yourself down for not eating healthy today, guilty that maybe you're eating an animal, or guilty that you're doing something that's very bad for the environment. In any cases, these are all really good reasons to stop eating fast food made from animals and start eating fast food made from plants. And this is why we focus on this industry. We feel that the fast food industry is ripe for disruption, and we are the company that's going to do that. So this is how we do it. We work with local farmers, and we use primarily natural ingredients in our food. These plant-based ingredients then go to our food manufacturing facility. And in this facility, we have special techniques that we use to process the food and create our plant-based proteins, and sauces. This food is then sent to our distributor, who is Cisco. Cisco is the largest food distributor in the world. And Cisco then brings food to our restaurants. So by partnering with Cisco, we're able to extend our reach anywhere across North America. So that partnership is really key for our growth. Some of our competitive advantages. Well, of course, we're a 100% vegan company. Now, why is that important? Well, as more people are eating plant-based, the need for reducing cross-contamination is going to be a bigger and bigger issue. And this is something that you're always at risk from eating at a traditional fast food restaurant, because they're also cooking animal proteins there. And anyone that is plant-based or vegan has had that horrible experience where you bite into a real piece of chicken. And it is, it's not something that anyone that's following a plant-based diet really wants to do again. Also, we have unique plant-based food products that we develop and manufacture. So this is really important, that the food that you're getting at our restaurant is something that you can't get anywhere else. It's unique, and it's made in a way that is healthier and more sustainable than other options. At our restaurants themselves, we use on-demand cooking. So this means that we can cook food in under 60 seconds. So that means that our food is made to order. So unlike other fast food chains where the food is sitting in hot holding for half an hour, 40 minutes before you get your food, our food is all made to order. And that is done through our smart kitchen technology. And that's something I'll talk about in a little bit. And another key component of our restaurants is that they can operate with as little as one staff member, which is just amazing. If you compare that to other restaurants or other chains, you need 3 or 4 staff members just to turn the lights on. And this, of course, decreases our operational cost, increases our efficiency, and makes corporate stores and franchise restaurant locations more profitable. So really what Oddburger is a combination of restaurants, food, and technology. So the restaurants, of course, are where we connect with the customers. The food is what we use to make the change in the world, to make that sustainable food choice. And the technology is how we are able to be competitive, both on our food technology and also in the restaurant technology. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about our smart kitchens. So what is so amazing about Oddburger? Well, our kitchens are smart, and it's something that we're really proud of, and something that we are going to be making our kitchens even smarter going forward. So our kitchens, for example, they fit into a very small, compact store, so less than 1,000 square feet. This is fantastic. Again, we're reducing operational cost. It is great in times like we're in now with a pandemic. So a very minimal seating, only about 8 seats in our typical locations. And our equipment is all pre-programmed. So that means that the staff can just put it into the machine and press a button. There's no grills, there's very low skill involved in training staff. And I always joke and tell people that we actually have not burned a burger in over 2 years, because it's literally impossible to mess up the food. We also employ self-checkout and cashless systems. So these systems, again, reduce the contact with customers, which during COVID is an advantage. And also it gives customers that information about the products and about the pricing really upfront in a beautiful big display. And of course, we also are developing proprietary automation technology. And these types of technologies are going to be further increasing our efficiency. And lastly, our model is focused on takeout and delivery. We really believe that delivery is the future of fast food. Although drive-thrus are an important component and something that we're considering reintroducing in the future, as more and more people are working at home, really it's about bringing the food to them. And this is why our smart kitchens are so important in that mission. The food manufacturing, of course, is at the heart of what we do, because obviously if the food isn't good, if the food isn't unique, well, no one's going to come to the restaurant. And so we've spent years developing our food technology and our products. So right now we manufacture 29 unique plant-based products. Our products are primarily plant-based proteins, including chicken, beef, pork, egg, cheese, and creamy sauces. We use many organic and non-GMO ingredients. And again, the emphasis is on simple and natural ingredients, including chickpeas, wheats, oats, and beans. So this is a big differentiator between our food and other plant-based products that are highly processed, because a lot of people that are not vegan, they may argue that, well, why should I eat a plant-based burger with 50 ingredients in them that I don't understand? I will just stick to eating meat. So I think it's very important, if we're going to convince the masses of the mainstream to eat fast food that is plant-based, there have to be some health advantages. Now, at the same time, we don't want it to make it too healthy, because then it's not going to have the same type of flavor profile that they're used to. So we like to call our food healthier fast food. And we also use many low processing technologies to preserve the natural health benefits. So, I mean, in many ways, it's actually harder to manufacture food with simple ingredients than highly processed ingredients. And that's, again, a reason that people process food, is to make it easier to manufacture. But again, we believe that it's important to keep things simple and to offer people in menu items with ingredients that they can understand. We are a 100% nut-free product line, which is very important for in this day and age where many people do have those allergies. And we have many gluten-free and soy-free options. So our restaurants appeal to a lot of people who just have certain allergies. So whether it's a dairy allergy or egg allergy or peanut allergy, we consider ourselves a allergen-friendly environment, which again is unique to other fast food chains. 65% of the food sold at the restaurant is actually manufactured by us. So most of it is our food. Things that we don't make include things like bread, obviously produce, and some of the other items, but most of it is all of our proprietary technology that we own, and we own all the intellectual property on that. And now onto the future things that we're sort of working on is our automation technology. So my background is in automation. I'm a programmer, and previous to this company, I actually ran a financial technology company that was focused on automated trading technology. So I do know quite a bit about the automation industry, and it is a big passion of mine. And I really do believe that there's something amazing where we can combine automation with the restaurant industry, because if you look at the restaurant industry, it hasn't really changed that much in 50 years. It's pretty much the same as it has always been: grills and fryers and this kind of stuff. So what we're looking at doing is really developing our own automation equipment that could help in the food preparation, equipment that will empower the customers to get food that they want made exactly the way they want it all the time at any location. So again, you're talking about consistency across all locations, and that is the goal of fast food, is consistency. But not just consistency, is that you want customizable consistency. And this is the whole goal of our automation technology that we're developing. And many of these things are now in the design phase is now complete, and we're looking at now working on some prototypes. So it's a very exciting time for us as we roll forward. And of course, what are people saying about Odd Burger? Because, obviously if people don't love the food, then they're not going to come. And the thing is what you'll find is that people will often say that Odd Burger is the best fast food restaurant they've ever eaten at. If you look at our Google reviews at many of our locations, our average rating is between 4.6 and 4.9 at our locations. So, and what this really says is that we are connecting with people that are both vegan and non-vegan. Because if you look at how our menu items are positioned, for people that are not vegan, we are actually a somewhat healthier choice. Now, granted, we still have the indulgence of the deep fryer and other things like that, but the point is that it's healthier and it's obviously more sustainable than the other choice that eating at another fast food restaurant. If you're vegan, well, then of course, you can feel that you can go to a safe place that you can eat, you can indulge in over 40 menu items. And that's simply something that the other fast food chains cannot and do not offer you right now. And they may never go completely vegan. So we think that there's such a huge opportunity in the market for plant-based fast food. And of course, how do we sort of connect with our customers, connect with the people? Really, we are an odd community, and we like to think of ourselves as connecting individuals connected by purpose. And this is really a critical part of what we do. And community involvement and working with the vegan organizations and social justice organizations is also what really differentiates us from other concepts, because we believe that it's so important to give back to organizations that align with our values. And so we've made, for example, sizable donations to the SAVE movement, Black Lives Matter Canada, Dara Farm Sanctuary, Food Not Bombs. And again, this aligns with our mission to make the world a better place. And we find that when we connect with people and we give back, we get tenfold in return, and that kind of support. And this also helps us get into new communities, new territories as we expand, because these organizations, they have established, very large established groups in those communities. And because of our past involvement with them, we really get more coverage in these new areas. So a little bit about the general market data. So the plant-based food market is expected to grow to 74.2 billion. So again, we're in a growing market. Plant-based food market is growing. It is still an early market, but it is a high growth market, and we are one of the very first in this industry to be in the plant-based fast food industry. And if you look at the fast food market, it's also expected to grow to 931.7 billion from 647 billion in 2018. So again, we're looking at one of the largest industries in the world, and an industry that is growing. So really, Oddburger is the combination of these two industries that are both growing. And we think that if you look at the opportunity to disrupt a $931 billion industry, that Oddburger is going to make potentially can make a huge disruption in that. So our expansion strategy. So right now we have 6 locations currently operational, with 3 more under development in Ontario. So that includes the new locations include our Broadview location, our Whitby location, and our Brampton locations. That will bring us up to 9 locations in the near future that are under that are either mostly corporate, but also franchised. And our medium-term expansion strategy is to open 11 additional locations across North America in 2022. And again, getting ourselves to around 20 operational locations in 2022 is our goal. We have signed franchise agreements in Calgary, in Victoria, BC, in Ottawa. So we are going to show the world that we can expand in a very big geographic area, again, through our partnership with Cisco, which is a critical partnership, and through our franchising model, which is going to be a way that we can expand with low capital requirements. So our historical performance, again, here we've had very stable revenue at our locations in the past year. As you can see here, our restaurant count has now gone up to 6 locations. And of course, we will be reporting on our financial performance very shortly. But basically, the point here is that we are in a very high growth mode. We're opening new locations. We're franchising very aggressively, and we expect to see very big growth in the next 1 or 2 years. Our management and board. So myself, James McInnes, as I said, I'm an accomplished scientist and technology expert. Vasiliki McInnes, she's our co-founder, very experienced leader. She is also the co-founder, and has managed teams of hundreds of people in the healthcare industry. and Ted Seal, our CFO. He has a background from McDonald's with over 12 years experience at McDonald's, and also has a deep background in manufacturing. So this is really our kind of core team. And I think the team is incredible, and we're really excited to grow the business with such great people. And also on our board, Avra Epstein. Avra Epstein is our VP of marketing. A lot of experience in marketing. She ran a very large vegan organization called Vegan Social Events out of Toronto, and she's worked with lots of big brands like Data Foods, Ben & Jerry's, Magnum, Field Roast. Michael Ficker, who is a previous CFO at Bento Sushi, he is on our board. Bento Sushi has over 900 franchise locations. So again, seasoned franchise background, lots of experience that we are going to benefit from. And William McDonald's, who is a securities lawyer and has a great relationship with many of our investment community, and of course advises us on all sorts of legal and regulatory issues. So we think that again this is a very strong board and a board that's going to take us to the next level of growth for us. Now our company, if you look at the total issued outstanding shares, we're at 82,648,000 shares and change. And the founder shares, so this is shares that are owned by myself and Leslie McInnes, are 43 million shares. So again, 52% of the company is owned by founders, which I think is very significant because we are significant shareholders. We have a huge vested interest in making sure that this company is able to grow and flourish, and is going to be a company that's going to really disrupt the fast food industry. So again, we are very much aligned with shareholder interests, and that's our primary goal, obviously, is with running Oddburger. Our current stock price is at 65 cents. Market cap is around 54 million. And just a few closing remarks. I think the key takeaway here is that you're making a better choice for your body, the planet, and animals when you eat Oddburger. And I think this is really critically important when you think that we have so much power to make so much change through the decisions that we make with our food choices. And by making food choices that are delicious, sustainable, and affordable, Oddburger is going to be the next world-changing company that's going to disrupt fast food. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you, James. If you are interested in asking a question and are logged into the Zoom app or web platform, you could submit your question to us directly in the chat module. While we take a moment to develop the queue, we actually have received some preliminary questions. James, you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, first question. When is your US expansion starting, and what is your strategy for growth in this market?
Yeah, so our US expansion is, it is something that we're working very hard on, because we see the US as, the primary growth of our business. So we announced last summer our intention to open a spot in Manhattan. We've been looking very hard for a spot in Manhattan. We put, many offers in many different locations. It's been very challenging to secure a spot there. It's very competitive. So we're looking at and obviously, bringing some potential franchisees into the mix to help us source locations. And also we're looking at potentially, other areas of the US launching. But right now, we're working on drafting our US franchise agreement. And, we're really, driving towards that goal of launching into the US with a, big franchising push.
Great. Second question, how does your smart kitchen technology give you an advantage over other fast food chains?
Yeah, I guess I talked a little bit about that, but I guess the key here is that, there's a few things. Smart kitchens, obviously they reduce your labor costs. So you have people that can do more because the technology is doing so much for them. So that's one thing, reduce your labor costs. The next thing is fresher food. You're getting food that's made to order. So, if for example, we can make a burger in 60 seconds, So there's no need to, pre-cook it, because maybe it's going to take 5 minutes or 6 minutes to cook a regular burger. But, when you employ certain technology that allows you to cook food that quickly, the customers end up getting that really fresh food experience. Yeah, I mean, those are just a few of the things. I mean, obviously, in regard with labor, I know there's a lot of issues with labor now in the restaurant industry, and it's very difficult to get labor, to retain labor. And again, by using smart kitchens and reducing that reliance on labor, it gives us an advantage, because we can also pay staff a bit more. They can make more. We help retain them. It makes us more competitive. And I think the key with the smart kitchens is it's just giving us that competitive advantage over other chains.
Great. My third question. Why has Odd Burger thrived and been able to grow during the pandemic?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I guess it was almost kind of by accident that we ended up developing this model, because before the pandemic happened, we actually had a location in downtown London, Ontario, and the location was under construction. The street was closed basically for almost a year, and we had to figure out, how are we going to survive? How are we going to make a business survive where people can't even come into your restaurant? And we spent a tremendous amount of time figuring out how to run a restaurant with one person, because we knew that if you can get your labor down to a certain point, you're basically you almost can't fail, because really labor is such a huge cost of running any business. So we were able to successfully do that. And that was through, using automated cooking equipment and self-checkout and a number of other things, really arranging the kitchen model to totally transform the kitchen model, compared to the traditional fast food restaurant. When the pandemic hit, we were in this perfect position where we'd already developed this compact store model, small restaurant locations, minimal seating, and really a restaurant that was focused already on delivery and takeout. So I think really the key here is like our small restaurant size, focus on delivery and takeout, low staff requirements, and very efficient operations with basically no food waste. So I think if you look at all those things together, this is why we've been so successful during the pandemic, and why I think whether in the future world there is another pandemic or not, Odd Burger is a business that will thrive and survive.
Great, thank you. Could you tell us more about the food and what makes it different than other plant-based options?
Yeah, so I guess I talked a little bit about the food, but again, I think the key here is the number of ingredients in many of our products. So if you look at our proteins, for example, our chicken is made with like 4 ingredients. So it has chickpeas, oats, gluten, and nutritional yeast. So you're talking a very simple nutritional profile. Our bacon, for example, is made from organic tempeh. So tempeh is a fermented soybean. Our main burgers are made from chickpeas. So I think if you look at the ingredients and what is in our burgers, you'll see that they're simpler ingredients when you compare it to something like a Beyond Meat or Impossible Foods, which are very much highly processed, engineered food. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that I think that for us, it's not something that we think is connects as well with non-vegans. But the point is that our food is something that people can, if you look at what it is in it, it's stuff that you can understand, and after you've eaten the meal, you feel good. And I think that's the big difference, is that I always say, it's one thing to enjoy the meal, when you're eating it, but the question is how does it make you feel afterwards? And when you make food with good ingredients, you feel good after eating it. And I think that's such a drastic difference when you eat fast food or Odd Burger versus, say, even a standard plant-based burger. You actually feel good afterward, and you don't feel necessarily heavy or bogged down or indigestion issues or etc. And again, that goes back to keeping things simple and natural.
Gotcha. All right, next question. With other fast food chains incorporating more plant-based options, how does Oddburger stay competitive?
Yeah, so I mean, like first of all, I think it's a good thing that other chains are getting plant-based options. It's good for us, it's good for the world, and I think that's an important thing to say. And the reason that I would say it's good for us is because if someone goes to a major fast food chain and tries a plant-based burger, the thing is that is in a sense marketing for us, because as the 100% vegan fast food chain, you can come to our restaurant, indulge in like 40 menu items. So although the traditional fast food restaurants maybe will have one or two options, at Oddburger you're talking about getting milkshakes, loaded fries, breakfast sandwiches, mac and cheese, burgers, chicken fingers, wings. The list goes on and on. So I think when you look at what other chains are doing, I think in the long run it'll really help us, because it makes more people aware that eating plant-based food is an option, and I think the more people that are eating plant-based, the more customers that will seek us out as well. So I think the two go hand in hand, and obviously it's what the world needs. The world needs to be 100% plant-based for us to really see through the next 50 years. And although I hope the other chains go plant-based, we can't count on that. And that's why Oddburger being a 100% vegan company and doing what we do is so important.
Gotcha. Thank you. Next question. Can you elaborate on how you are planning on marketing the company going forward?
Yeah, so the marketing for us, both in terms of marketing our products and obviously marketing, getting more investors aware of the stock, is a huge priority for us. But I think that the number one way of marketing is expanding our footprint, expanding our locations, and getting our brand, obviously into the US market, expanding right across Canada. Because with every new location, you have a potential new investor, right? People come in, they try the food, and they say, "Wow, this is amazing! I love this food. This company matches, my morals. I want to invest in it." So I think a lot of that, is obviously just expanding. This is why we're pushing so hard to expand our locations, because through more locations we get more awareness, and this is why we really focus on having a great product, having a great business, running a great operation. If you have satisfied, happy customers, they become repeat customers. They tell their friends, and then they may invest in the company, or they may buy a franchise. So really, I think the key here is just sticking to our strategy of expansion. And of course, as we expand, you get more social media, followers, and all that goes along with it. So I think that's really our primary strategy right now.
Okay, we have a couple questions in the chat module. This one, do you require, are your restaurants company owned or franchise owned?
So we have 5 corporate owned locations right now. We're building a 6th in Whitby, and we have 2 others under development. But that being said, we just sold 3 additional franchises, and we also have a franchise operation in Windsor. So it's a mix of both right now. But I think primarily going forward, our strategy is going to be to focus on franchising. And there's a few good reasons for that. One reason is that franchising, obviously, it's not capital intensive. The franchisees are putting in the capital for the build out and all that stuff. So, and that obviously makes a huge difference for us as a company. We don't have to raise as much capital, for example, because franchisees take over some of that burden. So, and the other thing about franchising is that you have local operators that really care about the business. And so when you're talking about running a business that's 4,000 or 5,000 kilometers away, as a corporate location, it is just more challenging in terms of management, because although you can hire great staff, they may come and go. A franchisee is there forever. So, or at least until the term of their franchise agreement. But the point is that we believe that franchise partners are such a huge asset, and not only from a management point of view, but also from even an innovation point of view, that franchisees, they're looking at, how do we make more money? How do we make better products? All these ideas that you get coming in, and you get also their enriched background as well. So the franchisees that we always look for people that can bring something to the organization, whether they have a real estate background, a technology background, a restaurant background, whatever it is. The key is that the franchisees bring in this experience and enrich the organization, and which ultimately make us better and stronger. So this is why we think franchising for us is a huge part of our future growth.
Okay, this is the last question and sort of a follow-up. Do you require franchisee owners to work at the restaurant?
Well, we don't require them necessarily to work at the restaurant, but we do require them to put in full-time hours into the business. So for example, there's a lot of work that needs to happen away from the restaurants, whether that's placing your orders, doing your schedules, and a lot of the business can be run remotely. And in fact, we set it up that franchisees can operate the business effectively remotely, because the thing is we want franchisees to be multi-unit operators. We don't just want necessarily every franchisee just to have a single store. So we always are looking for franchisees that are able to scale and run multiple stores. And obviously you can't be in every store at once. So we've really set it up, and we really have put in the technology systems to allow franchisees to remotely manage the business, because, again, we want them to manage 5, 10, 50 locations, whatever it is. So, and then, and we think that this is, really important. That being said, franchisees still need to know how to do everything. And we still do teach franchisees everything, right from, how to make every menu item to, how to clean the floors and all that kind of stuff. So, so we still think the knowledge is important, but obviously it's not about, we don't expect the franchisee to be, flipping every burger or whatever. So, so yeah, this is kind of the, our sort of, our strategy with franchising.
Okay, well, great. Thank you, James. And thank you everyone for joining today's webinar. Today's webinar recording will soon be made available on OddBurger's website. If you have any additional questions that have not been addressed on this webinar, please feel free to email us at oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Again, that's oddburger@rbmilestone.com. Thanks again, and you are now free to disconnect.